Okay, resolve. Is Scout a reliable narrator? We resolved that she was a reliable narrator. Well, according to the abcnews.go.com, children and adults imprint memory very differently based on their past knowledge of things, but that does not mean that children cannot be as credible as adults. In 2002, 5-year-old Samantha Reunion was kidnapped from her outside Stanton, California home. The only witness was her 6-year-old playmate, Sarah Ann, who gave such a precise description of the suspect in the car he drove, was captured days later. So, like, the worst accuracy, like, of children, like, is, like, 2 to 3, but, like, according to them, like, from, like, 6 to certain ages, that it is, that they are actually pretty good at, pretty accurate. And then it says they admit a lot of stuff that happens, they add stuff that didn't happen, but if you look at it, the accuracy actually starts going up. And it says, because of our knowledge, we may see things that aren't there. Like, for example, when you show, like, adult videos of kids in college taking exams, like, if someone asks, like, what time it is or something, like, adults are going to see it as cheating, but, like, young kids don't. So, like, and also, like, younger kids, like, they don't hold back on stuff. Like, they're pretty open with themselves. So, I mean, they may add in some stuff, but the stuff they say is going to be actually pretty accurate. And then, and sometimes things, like, that are based on their past knowledge, like, if you have, like, past hardships, like, you tend to hold stuff back. So, but, like, in all, that children are just as good as a reliable source as adults.
Con or nays? You sit. Next one.
We resolved is Scout a reliable narrator. We resolved that Scout is not a reliable narrator. I'm rebuttaling when Abby says that 2 to 3 and 6 to 10 doesn't matter. It does, because according to AIC.gov.au, in order for a child to be a good witness, the child must have the mental capacity to observe and register the event accurately. So some of them don't have sufficient memory to retain all of the independent, like, knowledge that they know, because they may not have been there the whole time. So they have to make up things to give a personal accuracy of what happened. And she said that things may be pretty accurate, but studies show that things that are repeated to children would make their first answer be false compared to their second. And so you can't really rely on kids being accurate with their answers, because they can always change them. The sufficient memory to retain an independent recollection of that event, they are like 2 or 3. It doesn't, they don't have a big, strong vocabulary of things, and so they don't really understand why or why not that happened, or why that didn't.
Rebuttal.
I go back up there. Okay, well, I mean, at one point she is right, like 2 to 3-year-old, that is not accurate at all. And then also when Deja added in on it that they can add in stuff, well, adults can add in stuff too. Like, they can always tell you what you want to hear, just as the kids would. But, like, adults, like, for example, if something happened and adults, like knows him or something, they're going to hold back, because, I mean, like, they would know them or something. But, like, kids, like, they don't care. They're not going to hold anything back, and they're going to be detailed with stuff. Like, and then, like, adults, like, kids just don't care. Like, they're pretty accurate with everything, and that's, I don't know, like, but, like, kids, they're just as good as adults, I guess. I would say that. I mean, because children do, like, they are younger, and, like she was kind of right when they said that, like, once you ask them, like, the first couple of times, that they're not. But one of the studies shows that, okay, it says it appeared that all children reported more accurate information after a short delay than after a long delay. However, younger children report less accurate information than older children. But it did say from ages 6 to 10 that they showed pretty accurate, just as much as adult would. And it said that the study showed that during a free call of all children provided reports that were highly accurate. However, older children, like older people, they do report more correct information, but they also made more errors than younger children. So, but although these results, both these studies have shown that children are able to provide accurate reports of experienced events, the accuracy may be negatively influenced by the way that the children are questioned. So, so all in all, like older people, yeah, they're gonna more things are gonna be correct, but they can also see things different the way that children should. So,
Next pro.
Resolve, the scout a reliable narrator. She resolves that she is a reliable narrator because throughout the book, like Abby said, like older kids and adults hold back a lot of stuff. Well, since she was 2 when her mother died, she pointed out in the book that she really didn't feel her absence because she never really got to know her. But Jim, he just didn't want to talk about it. He would go by himself in some parts, and then he just didn't even want to. He'll hold back like a lot of stuff about his hardships. And sometimes during the book, she would say stuff that felt like her instead of like just sit back and just keep her mouth shut. She would just come out and say stuff like Miss Caroline. She went into so much detail about Miss Caroline that most other kids would be like, okay, she's a teacher, whatever. And Miss Scout was like, she's almost 21. She's very beautiful. She's kind of clueless about what she's doing. She's brand new to this town. And a lot of children, like Scout, they want to say what adults want to hear. So if Miss Caroline didn't know who the Cunninghams were, Scout just kind of stood up and told them the whole life story about the Cunninghams, how they lived, why they were so poor. She didn't even want to look at Walter and say, oh, you want me to say this? And she just went ahead. And on page 77, she says in the book that she was talking about the second grade, and she said second grade was like worse than the first grade. She went and she says the second grade was as bad as the first grade, only worse. They still flashcards at you and wouldn't let you read. And she kind of complimented Miss Caroline from the beginning, where she was kind of saying that she didn't know what she was doing. And throughout the book, as I read, I'm almost in chapter 10, but as you read on, she gets very detailed about everything. Like, the older she gets, the more fluent she sounds, to me. And to our group, as we read, we kept pointing out little facts that every time you read, you'll see everything she would point with a new fact. And at 6 years of age, near the beginning of the book, she really didn't want to hold back on anything. She just wanted to say the truth.
Next, Nate.
Resolve, is Scout a reliable narrator? We resolve that Scout is not a reliable narrator. Because according to ABC News, sometimes children create false memories. For example, in the 1980s, children who attended McMartin Preschool outside of LA accused caretakers of sexual abuse, but it wasn't really true. But in that one, their memories can be altered, so children can't always tell. Well, they most likely they don't actually lie, but they're not saying the whole truth. And they also, there was a video I watched, and it says, "Can you always believe the children?" And it's saying that researchers are proving that children are influenced into making up stories by other people. So, but I got my video for you. It's the CNN News. But similar, they pursue the child and they ask a child the wrong question and the child's memory is weak or non-existent, it can make a false statement. So, and Alex stated that when she got older, she became more fluent and it would say that she couldn't, like, she wouldn't hold back. So I guess as you get older, you get more loud.
I can see where Ryan's coming from, the how they said the researchers are saying that kids are making up stories, but if Scout was making up a story in the book, it should kind of state that something happened, she got caught in the lie. But so far, it's like everything she said, it went to a flashback that Atticus or Miss Audie would tell her about it, even Calpurnia would say some stories to her that would support everything she said in the book.
Amaya. Next.
Resolved. Scout a reliable narrator. We resolved that Scout is a reliable narrator. Because all through the book, she's stating stuff with like crystal clear accuracy. She doesn't go back, say something, try and fix it. Like in page 3, she knew the reason why those two men got held because they killed the blacksmith. She would have said they just, no ordinary child would have just said they just killed a guy. But she stated what they said during the trial too. And at the beginning of the book, when they're telling about how Jim broke his arm, she states with clarity that he broke his arm at the elbow and his right hand was shorter than his left hand. And she told how and how much, and they couldn't really care about it. Then later on in the book, when they find all that stuff in the tree, she's talking about the pocket watch, and she's telling with clear accuracy what it looked like, if it was broken or not broken, if it was brass or silver. And whenever she's talking about her mother, she's talking about her with such clear accuracy, you would never know that she was a Graham from Montgomery, and where her father and her met, and how old he was and how old she was, just stuff like that. Then she's telling the story with just clear accuracy. That's it.
Next.
The resolve is Scout a reliable narrator? We resolve that Scout is not a reliable narrator. Okay, so I like to rebuttal back to when Cal said that when he broke his arm at the elbow and he was telling about, also on that page, she said about his self-consciousness and how he feared nothing or something like along those lines. But how would she absolutely know how he felt or how self-conscious he actually was? Because she could be making up his fears and his self-consciousness as well. And also, you stated that she wrote the book and narrated it with accuracy, and she gave the description of the watch to be very clear. But also, children's minds, when they're imaginative, they tend to alter their descriptions. As you can see, children's minds run wild, and they do have very imaginative minds. So how are you sure that the description of the things that were stated in the book are actually not altered? Because you do not know.
And according to CNN,